Hey you guys, so the Red Spartan here. So today we're going to be talking about Marvel Zombies. We're going to talk about how much I think that the pledge level is going to reach, and then we're going to talk about um, where the stretch goals are and what we could possibly see in the future with the stretch goals, and then also we're going to be talking about uh, the different pledges we're probably going to see in the future, maybe even future expansions, and what the Kickstarter looks like so far, and what to expect. All right, guys. So right here we see that already day two, probably all close to 24 hours. I think we're about 23 hours into the campaign. We're at 3.5, a little over 3.5 million. Um, so what I suspect will happen, especially with the IP Marvel and then slapped on top of Zombicide, I suspect we're gonna reach around the 15, 16 million mark for whatever, which will be the most funded campaign on Kickstarter. Frosthaven, I think, is at 14 million. So we could definitely see this game being way above 14 million just because of the IP, and then B, Zombicide. Most Zombicide games reach about 2, 3, 4 million. But if you slap on Marvel on top of this, not only that, but if we look at first day funding for all the other Zombicides and all the other come on games, day one, I think we were at 3 million, a little over 3 million for day one. Um, and we're almost on day two and we're at 3.5. So I could definitely see this game reaching, I'm guessing, 15, 16 million. Now we'll talk about the pledges here. But first, actually, we'll talk about the game, the core game. So the core game is, well, the core game of this particular one is where you are a zombie hero and you have to uh, devour things, humans, and shield agents and other heroes to try to continue going. And you know that the story is that you know that you're doing this and you don't like that you're doing it, but it's the only way, because the more hungry you get, the more ravaged you get, the more out of control you are as a hero. And you will probably eat more things if you don't eat little by little here and there. That's kind of like the core game. So it's kind of like flipped as opposed to other Zombicide games, right? So other Zombicide games where you are a survivor and you're going through hordes of zombies and you're trying to get to the end and you unlock doors and find weapons and different things start to make the game a little bit easier. Bigger weapons, you get stronger, but as you get stronger, the hordes of zombies get stronger as well. It's the same premise, just flipped. So now you're a zombie hero going through, and Shield is trying to stop you, and other heroes that aren't zombies are trying to stop you as well. So that's what is the core game of this. Now they did announce the new Resistance, which is like the X-Men version. So it's actually flipped. So now you are a hero that is not a zombie, and you are trying to stop the zombie heroes from devouring, the world, and kind of like you're basically just trying to be a hero. You're trying to stop these different heroes that have become zombies, and that's the premise of it. So basically, the new Resistance is kind of like Zombicide, how it was, but now you got like Marvel slapped on, and now you're a hero. You're Wolverine. You're the Hulk. You're not zombified in any way, and you're trying to stop the zombies. So the pledges with that is the core one is, like I said, the core is where you're undead hero and you're trying to kill as minimum as possible, but you're trying to successfully get your missions done. The story will be revealed as to what that is and how that thematically they'll be putting that in front of you. But overall, what they said is you're a hero that knows you're a zombie and you don't want to have to devour and eat and destroy things around you, but at the same time you have the zombie urge, and as you ignore that, you actually become more ravenous and you become more out of control in the scenario. So the game will play out like that, where you kind of have to control your hunger in a way where you don't want to keep eating people, but if you reach a certain level, you now are out of control and you might not complete your mission as a hero because you're now like a full rage zombie. So the core is going to be just that plus all the stretch goals and stuff like that. So as you see here, you got the zombies here, which are going to be that like zombie green kind of color, and then the heroes are going to be blue, like a bluish like gray, and then everything else is going to be like the bystanders are going to be brown, and then the shield is going to, or I guess I should say the bystanders are going to be like a light brown, maybe like a reddish brown, and then the shield agents are going to be like a brown. Then you got the resistance pledge, which includes the core pledge and the new resistance. Now, what they did say about this is that um, both the core pledge and the resistance pledge, well, I should say both the games in those both pledges are cross compatible. So the zombie heroes that are your character that you play in the core game will be what you play against in the new resistance. When you are just a hero that's not a zombie, those zombie heroes will be popping up and trying to stop you or kill you or whatever. So and vice versa, when you are playing the zombie version where you're a zombie hero, the heroes from the new resistance are going to be popping up. If you have the two games, will be popping up in your deck of cards that come up and show that they pop up and spawn. They'll be coming up to try to stop you as well. So they really made it so if you get these two games, you kind of get a lot of replayability, both in the heroes you can play, because like I said, it's vice versa. So like the heroes that are in the core that are trying to stop you, you could play them in the other one if you have the new resistance. So both of them are completely swappable. And just like in Kickstarter form and Come On Kickstarter form, we're gonna see a lot of stretch goals and a lot of playable characters that are gonna be flipped for both these games. So if you really, really, really want to get as much as you can out of this game and you want to pay the minimum possible, I would say get this pledge right here. This will hold its value, and you'll be able to probably, if you like get it and you don't like it, you'll be able to resell it and probably make your money back, if not more. The IP is slapped on it. Come On does a really good job on not reiterating anything that they already did in the past. So by that I mean, like, if you see like a Kickstarter exclusive, you're not going to see that again unless you go to like a convention where they have extras that they printed that they weren't enough to like give out to different pledges out there. Besides that, when those run out, they're out. You can't get them again. They do a really good job of that. I like that. I know a lot of people don't like Kickstarter exclusives, but I feel like if you're gonna front this much money to a company and they're gonna offer you exclusive stuff that's gonna hold its value, so like you as an investor can get your money back if you don't really like what you invested in. I like that. Kickstarter exclusives do that. Whereas like if you invest into another game that doesn't have Kickstarter exclusives, as you are an investor, um, you get that game, you pledged $100 and they gave you no exclusives. Now the game is out on retail. It kind of didn't do so well with the crowd around, and now the game you could buy on at Target for $50, or online at eBay that someone else is trying to get rid of their stuff for $50 because it didn't hold its value because it had no exclusives to give you, and because of that, what you pledged or what you gave them a year or 2 years before you even got the game didn't hold its value. And because of that, what you got was something you didn't like, and you don't get your money back. So as an investor, I feel like, especially since you're fronting so much money up front, I feel like when Kickstarters have exclusives, that's a good thing. I like that. I know a lot of people don't like that because they don't want to be um, pigeonholed it into kickstarting something and like being like, oh, I have to get this Kickstarter now. I have to front this money now because if I don't, I won't get the exclusives. Well, that's the point. People are going to do that, and they should be rewarded for doing that. And if you don't want to do that, I understand. Don't do that. But don't punish those who are willing to do that to try to make sure that this game that you'll probably enjoy when it comes out on retail becomes possible. So like if you get what I'm saying, I like the way Kickstarter exclusives are done in certain campaigns if they do them right. And Come On mostly does them right. Pretty much everything that Come On comes out with Kickstarters holds its value. If it doesn't get more valuable, it holds its value that it was at when you paid for it. So that's always a good thing. Now moving on to the next pledge, which by the way, this isn't the all-in pledge, but Galactus. So what you're gonna get is you're gonna get these two core boxes, and then you're gonna get Galactus, which is like another like campaign. I would say probably Galactus is probably gonna be like the Thanos campaign in Marvel United, where it's gonna be its own thing. You fight the Silver Surfer, and you eventually go against Galactus, and it's gonna be his head and arm are gonna be changeable. So if you're the zombies, you'll be able to change his head and arm into the zombies. That's the core mission of the zombies is to stop Galactus from devouring the whole world. While they're all zombies, they're trying to stop Galactus from devouring the whole world while they're trying not to devour as much as the world while they try to stop Galactus. Now, vice versa, you got normal Galactus that is not a zombie, and if you're the heroes, you're trying to stop him from devouring the world or destroying the world as normal Galactus. This I would say, because I'm seeing the jump. What are we looking at here? We're looking at around $170. I really don't see this holding its value on what it is. I mean, not holding its value. It will hold its value, but I don't really see it adding that much gameplay that you guys would have for the value. Now, granted, you could get it, and it will probably be worth more than what you're paying for it when it comes out. So if you investing wise, if you want to do that, it's a good move. It's going to hold its value. You're probably not going to lose any money at all on it. But as far as like how much more it'll probably gain a couple more. I would say around 25% more value than what you're paying for it. Now I could see the all-in being more because as come on Kickstarters go, they do add-ons and expansions and more expansions, and they really kind of add so much into it. I would say um, Marvel United, after the game was done on Kickstarter, had like 4 or 5 expansions, and Marvel United X-Men had around 4 as well. So as far as come on fashion, they do, as the game goes on, release more and more things, and this is mostly to drive the number up, obviously. But as the number gets driven up, the more stretch goals get revealed. Now what we're going to see with stretch goals is we're going to see more stretch goals, 2 a day, I believe is what they said. They're going to do 2 a day. They're not really stretch goals. They're just kind of like letting you know different things. Now, the only pattern I'm seeing with those, they're called the Daily Bugle. The only pattern I'm seeing with those is they are the version in the core games, the 2 core games, the New Resistance and the core game. They're the version, the opposite of that. So, like in the core game, you have Zombie Hulk. They already announced now in one of the Daily Bugles that we're going to have normal Hulk. Um, some people are gonna like this. Some people aren't gonna like this because it kind of feels like, oh, okay, well, duh, kind of thing. Like, why are we wasting my time on what I kind of already knew? But I kind of like that these are in the Daily Bugle. So the reason for it to be in the Daily Bugle is, yes, it is obvious. Like, I want to play as the Hulk, not Zombie Hulk. So rather than slapping it into a stretch goal that as a community you got up the number 500,000, which we'll talk about that later on. But as you got the number up 500,000, now you get the Hulk, the Hero Hulk, and you just feel disappointed. So I like that it's a Daily Bugle where they're announcing it no matter what, no matter where the stretch goal number is at, no matter how much the pledge is at, no matter how much the total value that they got from this Kickstarter is at, you're going to see these. So with that being that these are kind of like obvious, like, oh, okay, I kind of saw that coming. I like that these are just free Kickstarter exclusives that they're kind of announcing. Now with that being said, the Kickstarter exclusives that they did announce that are from the value, so what happens is I believe they started it at 500,000, so after they reached their mark, 500,000 more. After they reach 500,000, they, every 500,000, and this is going to be until the number starts slowing down. The reason it's at 500,000 is they already have a set number of stretch goals that they want to announce. Come On's pretty good. They kind of gauge where everything's going to be at. They'll change the number as the campaign goes, as the price or as the value that they have obtained goes down and starts to not accumulate as much. The stretch goal value that they will release the next stretch goal will be less and less. And vice versa, as the campaign reaches to the end, typically the campaign will blossom just like the beginning of the campaign, and they'll start receiving a lot more money faster, and then the stretch goals will then spread out again. And so I could see like the next stretch goals like coming up in the next couple of days being 250,000, not 500,000. But that being said, let's just talk about the stretch goals from the Daily Bugle and the stretch goals. So far what we got is we got Luke Cage, the zombie form Luke Cage, and we got Beast, the zombie form Beast. And our next one that we will see is Winter Soldier zombie form. We also have gotten Luke Cage in the hero form, and the Beast in hero form and Winter Soldier in hero form. Now, the one thing I will say is because the stretch between these, well, besides Luke Cage was both in the 500,000 range, but the stretch goals that we've seen in between these are 500,000. So that's kind of like what I was talking about before with the Daily Bugle, where they kind of released the Beast and you got the zombie form or the hero form first, and then the next 500,000 is zombie form. And you're like, oh, as a community, we just brought this number up 500,000. We got the opposite, which we kind of saw coming. But how much little are we gonna see? Like how many heroes are we not gonna see because we're just gonna see duplicates of hero form and zombie form, right? Um, we'll see where that goes and how fast they do announce things. Like I said, with the Daily Bugle, they're gonna do 2 a day, and this campaign's gonna last 16 days. So that's 32 Kickstarter exclusives right there that they're going to be announcing for no money added onto the campaign, and just kind of like they're going to give those no matter where the campaign is at. Now, and these are the Daily Bugle right here. So we got the hero Iron Man, we got the hero Wasp, we got the zombie Miss Marvel, we got the hero Sabretooth, we got the zombie Rogue, we got the zombie Wolverine, we got the hero Hulk. These are the ones that, like I said, they gave out for free basically. So we could just see more of like and these are all in those two core boxes, the core boxes and the new resistance. So these are in those as far as the flip version. So like in the core box, there's zombie Iron Man that you're able to play, zombie Wasp that you're able to play. In the new resistance, you are going against zombie Sabretooth, but now you can play as hero zombie tooth, hero Sabretooth. So here we're going to see what's in the core box. So we got 87 character pieces. So when you see that number 87 character pieces, that doesn't mean 87 heroes. What that means is you're going to have your heroes, and then you're going to have your zombie heroes, and you're going to have your bystanders, and then you're going to have your shield members, right? So they're probably going to show that here. So as playable characters, you're going to be able to play as Captain America. These are all zombies, by the way. So Captain America, Deadpool, Wasp, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and Hulk. These are all playable characters in the core box, which, like I said, you're the zombies in this one. And then you got your color bases, you got their hero cards, you got, instead of items in this game that you find, you're going to get zombie traits. So that's pretty cool. We'll see what those do. Then you got bystanders, which when you eat them, they give you certain powers or abilities that you're able to do because you ate them. So you got Pepper Potts, you got Aunt May, you got Agent Coulson, you got Wong. You got a whole bunch of lists there, and so you can see them right here. These are all the bystanders right here in the core box, and then you got the base that you put all your cards in. So you put your hero card here, you put your bystander that you ate here, your zombie traits here, and then this is the hunger track that I talked about. You have to manage. And this I'm assuming is your life as well. And then this right here, based on how strong you are. So like as you're gonna be in blue originally, so you got just this blue power here. Then you reach yellow, you got this yellow power here. But because you're in yellow, when those cards flip over that show like what is gonna spawn to try to stop you, those are stronger as well because you're in the yellow. And and keep going, you're in the orange, you have a more strong power, but the game gets harder as well because and how the game rolls is if one person is in yellow, the whole game adjusts to that one person. So if everyone else is still in blue or in the beginning of blue, and that one person is just going Rambo and everything, and they're all the way at yellow, they made the game harder for everyone else. Now, granted, they could probably help out a lot more because of that, but everyone else is going to be kind of like, oh gosh, we're really far behind, and the game just got so much harder. And if that person keeps going, they get in the orange, and everyone else is still at blue, or maybe two people are still at blue and one person's in yellow. The game is harder for all of them while this person's rambling. So you kind of have to balance that. Balance how strong you want to get, how fast you want to get as strong as you get, because the game will get harder because you're getting strong. So it's kind of like that balance. You can't have that one person that's going to Rambo because they're going to make the game extremely hard for everyone else, and you're probably not going to complete your mission because you're not thinking it through. You're not thinking like, okay, let's all kind of go through this and kind of do this equally. And maybe as you all are close to yellow, I'm just going to jump into yellow right now, and then you guys can catch up when more zombie or shield members come out and try to stop us. So as we go here, we got shield agents, which like I said, the 87 is you got 7 of these, 7 of these, 7 of these, 7 of these. They're different shield members. You got 7 of these, 7 of these. These are going to be stronger shield members that are going to come up and try to stop you. You got specialists, which are kind of like runners if you have played any of the Zombicide games. So specialists here, 7 of those, 7 of those. You got the superheroes. You got Spider-Man, Thor, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Miss Marvel, and Black Panther. So these are going to come out to also stop you. I know that they've said that Thor is really, really hard to stop. I believe um, he has a total of 5 strength or toughness. So if you see, they're all kind of like 3 or 4. And his attacks deal 2 wounds. So when he comes out, he's going to be hard to put down, and he's going to deal a lot of damage as he's out there trying to stop you as well. And then you got the game board, different things you put on the board, and so like that. And you know, when you get both the boxes, these heroes are going to be playable in the other box, and vice versa. Those zombies are going to come out to try to stop you, the zombies that you're able to play. So we'll go into that. So you'll be able to play as in the new Resistance. You'll be able to play as Colossus, Rogue, Wolverine, Magneto, Storm, and Mystique. And you'll be play those, and you're going through trying to stop all the zombies from doing their thing. And instead of like zombie traits, you'll have hero traits that you power up. Like I said, they're not doing items; they're doing like you're a superhero, so you get powered up in some way. You got rescuing bystanders, so instead of trying to eat the bystanders, you're now trying to rescue them because the zombies are gonna like purposely try to go after them and eat them. So you're trying to rescue them, and as you rescue them, they give you abilities as well because you're rescuing them. There's that. And then I think this is really clever. I know a lot of people might go negative on this, but the walkers for this version are the multiple man, which I think is very clever for them to do because multiple man, his superpower is that he multiplies. So when you have like the basic zombies coming at you, they're just all gonna be multiple men, but in different forms. So you have multiple men in this form 7 times, 7 times, 7 times, 7 times, 7 times. And then your brutes are gonna be your reavers, which is this guy here. And then you got Hellfire Soldiers, which are going to be your runners. And then the zombies that are going to be coming out to try to stop you or to eat you and eat the bystanders are going to be Iceman, Juggernaut, Cyclops, Dark Phoenix, Psylocke, and Sabretooth. Now, with Marvel United X-Men, they did have it where, just like you see here, Iceman is like a blue. They did have it where certain fire characters had fire, so it was like an orange, like orange coming out here instead of, so just with the fire it'd be orange. Why they didn't do that with Dark Phoenix here, I have no idea. It makes no sense. Obviously, with past Kickstarters that the company has had, they are able to do it. So why they didn't do it with Dark Phoenix here and make her more presentable, such as, I mean, if you're going to do it with Iceman, why you didn't do it with Dark Phoenix, it makes no sense to me. They might change that based on people talking about it and whatever, but we'll see. They should change it based on that. And you could play these characters when you get both boxes. You could play these characters in the other box when you're the zombie heroes trying to devour everyone, or not devour everyone, but trying to do your missions as you're trying to devour as little as possible. You're able to play these characters as well. Then you got everything that's in that box, the heroes or whatever. You can read the Kickstarter. You can read the rules if you want to. Now with the Galactus one, so Galactus is gonna be about. You probably can't tell, but probably about as big as my Diablo statue. So if you want to look at hand comparison, here's my hand next to my Diablo statue. The Galactus is probably gonna be around that big. Not as big as my hand, but as big as this statue alone. And so what you're gonna get the Galactus game piece, which is this right here with interchangeable head and arms. 2 character pieces, which is gonna be the Silver Surfer, and then they're gonna have their individual decks. So as you're fighting Galactus here, you have this deck here, and as you're fighting the zombie Galactus here, you have this deck here. You have their master plan, which is, I'm guessing, going to be close to what Marvel United has as far as master plans. As they come out, he gets stronger, and more things start to happen that are negative. You're able to steal cosmic powers here if you're the zombies. You're able to get the tech if you're the heroes, the lost tech, and then here's the Silver Surfer. They have to fight also. I believe they even have it so you can play as him too. They have, there's hero card here and a zombie card here if you wanted to be him as you play the other games. But if you don't want to be him, you want to play the Galactus like campaign, or I guess you would call this an expansion as well. They have it where he's doing his best to stop you from killing Galactus as well in both versions. And as we go, and then we got the gameplay here. If you want to see gameplay on the Kickstarter exclusive, you got the daily bugle, like I said, as they release 2 things a day. So later on today, I believe we'll get 1 more. We got our stretch goals here. Like I said, it started at 2 million, I believe, and yeah, it started at 2 million. They gave both Luke Cages, and as you go, we see 500,000 being the increasing value. As we go, our next one's going to be when we reach 4 million. It's going to be Winter Soldier. And then you got the optional buys that if you're not getting the Galactus, or if you want more Galactuses, as you go, you could get more. You could buy multiple of them if you want. Like I said, I believe they're gonna hold its value, or and maybe even increase it by, I would say, 25%. I could see this going on eBay for 250 or something like that, somewhere around there. But that's it, and then you can do 2-wave shipping. So with 2-wave shipping, what that's going to be is you could get the core box first, and then that'll come fairly early. So you're going to see a lot of people on YouTube probably playing the core box as they get it, and then you'll get the second wave, which is everything else. All the Kickstarter exclusives, all that stuff is going to come out later on. So, but that's gonna, if you get the core or the 2-wave, that's gonna be a little more pricier than if you just get the 1-wave, which the 1-wave is everything later on. When no one else has, when everyone else is getting the core box, you're getting everything else later on. But yeah, guys. So for this, I just wanted to talk about this and kind of like make you guys aware of this and see where it goes. I'll try to keep more news on this overall, and I believe that this game will be fun for most and a niche for some. And if you want to really dive into everything and you think you're going to bring this to your table a lot, then like I said, it's going to hold its value. So you'll be good on that, just in case you don't like it. But see you guys in the next video, and thank you guys so much.